All right, so the Philadelphia Eagles going to be looking for a new offensive coordinator and a new defensive coordinator. Shane Steichen just was named the head coach of the Indianapolis Colts, and Johnathan Gannon, the newly minted head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, a move that I'm sure a lot of people are excited about, including me, because I think he's completely overrated, and this defense is the main reason that the Philadelphia Eagles lost Super Bowl 57. Then we'll round out today's show with the latest free agency rumors. This is Philadelphia Eagles Now by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Senior. No matter where you are or how you're tuned in, greatly appreciate all of you for making today's show a part of your day. So we begin with the Eagles coaching news that started earlier today here on Tuesday. Then we'll get to Johnathan Gannon, as Eagles offensive coordinator Shane Steichen has been hired as the next coach of the Indianapolis Colts. And this is going to be a big loss for Philadelphia, no doubt about it. As for who is going to replace him, we'll also cover that on the program today. But Shane Steichen does really have an impressive coaching resume, and he certainly has his work cut out for him as he takes this job with Indianapolis, as the Colts come off a 4-12-1 campaign. Jim Irsay, kind of a wonky owner. They don't have a quarterback right now, but they do have the number 4 overall pick in the 2023 NFL Draft. And what Steichen was able to do with Philadelphia, really, really impressive. So that's, of course, on his resume from a recency standpoint, but also prior to him coming to Philly, did some great work with the Los Angeles Chargers, especially Justin Herbert during his rookie campaign, when Herbert kind of took the league by fire as a rookie and had a record-setting rookie campaign. Then with Steichen in Philadelphia, developed Jalen Hurts to the point where last year he made a leap. This year became the runner-up in MVP voting behind Patrick Mahomes, and in Super Bowl 57, Philadelphia able to put up 35 points on the scoreboard. That's the most points for any team in Super Bowl history that actually lost the Super Bowl, to go along with 417 yards of offense. And a reason why the Colts are bringing him in to not just be the head coach, but also the de facto offensive coordinator, he is also going to call plays, is because he oversaw an Eagles offense this year that set a bunch of records amidst this great franchise's history in terms of points scored and setting countless records. You look at what the Eagles were able to do on the offensive side of the rock this year among all 32 teams in the National Football League. They averaged 29 points per game with Steichen calling the plays. That ranked number 2 in the NFL. 390-plus yards per game. That tallied 3rd in the National Football League. Points per play and 3rd down conversion percentage, number 3 in the NFL. 4th down conversion rate. I love his aggressive play calling and then the aggressive decisions from Nick Sirianni. I do think that he's going to maintain that philosophy with Indianapolis. He had said during his introductory press conference, we throw the ball to score, we run the ball to win, and that was really the backbone of this Eagles offense. Anytime they got into the red zone here in 2022, they converted those red zone trips to touchdowns nearly 69% of the time. That was 3rd in the NFL. Touchdowns per game atop the league, and yards per rush, 4.7, 10th in the NFL. Unfortunately for the Birds, not able to run the ball successfully against Kansas City in the Super Bowl. But really why the Colts are bringing him in is his development with quarterback Jalen Hurts on top of his development work with Justin Herbert. And the Colts now have the number 4 overall pick, and Indianapolis and Shane Steichen going to be able to match him up with his future quarterback, seemingly, depending on how the board falls. And for Hurts to make that leap from 2021 to 2022 under Shane Steichen's watch is why he is replacing Frank Reich, who was the former Eagles offensive coordinator, as the Colts go back into that Eagles coaching tree, as well as Jeff Saturday. And I do wonder what Steichen's plan is going to be. My organizational philosophy, if I were an owner, if I was a general manager, I get a young offensive mind to become the next head coach if I'm going through a rebuilding process, and I want to match up that young OC, if you have the draft capital to do so, with a young quarterback. If you looked at how the NFL playoffs kind of shaped up, 7 of the 8 remaining teams had an offensive mind as head coach. All teams in the Final Four had an offensive head coach, and Nick Sirianni, Andy Reid in the championship game, also offensive-minded coaches. So I do think that that is the way to go in an NFL era that is now pass-happy and offensive-heavy, and I think that Indianapolis is going to use that number 4 overall pick on a quarterback to match him up with Shane Steichen to kind of streamline that rebuilding process. Does the loss of Shane Steichen concern you? I want you to be honest with me down in the comment section. Why for yes and for no? Let us know and sound off down below. As for who is going to replace Shane Steichen, I've been talking about this for weeks. I've been talking about this for a couple of months. The in-house candidate that makes the most sense, it's going to be Brian Johnson here to my right, who's to the right of Jalen Hurts. It's his job to lose, and Adam Schefter did back me up on that by saying this on Twitter. Eagles quarterbacks coach Brian Johnson, one of the NFL's most sought-after assistant coaches, as he had a couple of interviews and was sought after by multiple teams across the NFL, has received multiple requests to interview for OC jobs, would be expected to replace Shane Steichen as Philadelphia's offensive coordinator, and I think that Nick Sirianni is going to tab him in that post to be the next Eagles play caller. And his path has been an impressive one. Had a great collegiate career as a quarterback at Utah. Then he got his coaching start at Utah as well under head coach Kyle Whittingham, who I think is one of the best college coaches in the game. From 2010 to 2013, quarterbacks coach and offensive coordinator with the Utes. Then he went to the SEC to test himself. That's when he worked with Dak Prescott as the quarterbacks coach. He went to Houston to become the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. Then he worked with Kyle Trask at Florida, whose NFL career hasn't been all that great, but Kyle Trask at Florida with the Gators, a good collegiate quarterback. He was the OC and QB's coach there, and then with Philadelphia holding that latter post as well. And this is going to be a move, if it happens, that's going to be widely regarded as a very good one across the NFL from everything that I've gathered, but also some of the bigwigs out there like Tom Pelissero, who said this: Johnson was a prolific college quarterback at Utah. I believe they won the Sugar Bowl there when he was there. And returned to the Utes as a coach, Pelissero said, subsequently became the youngest FBS offensive coordinator at age 24. He has mentored the likes of Dak Prescott, Kyle Trask, now Jalen Hurts, and Jalen Hurts' dad actually coached Brian Johnson way back in the day, so I do expect Brian Johnson to be named the next Eagles offensive coordinator. And yes, replacing coordinators is a very tall and difficult task, but Nick Sirianni's done a great job of building this coaching staff, and I trust him to continue to build this coaching staff. Now, this is why you subscribe. Shane Steichen, named the Colts head coach. Johnathan Gannon, named the Arizona Cardinals head coach. We're bringing you this news as soon as possible, right when it drops, so make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if you are subscribed, we appreciate you. That means that you're a real one, so type real one. And for those of you coming across the show for the first time, if you haven't subscribed, you simply ain't alive. If you love the Bird Gang, why you should sub: daily Eagles videos, news, rumors, and analysis, instant breaking news content like this video. We do live shows and watch parties all throughout the year, and we're covering every step of the NFL offseason. We'll get to Johnathan Gannon coming up. First, though, Philadelphia Eagles now is sponsored by Athletic Greens. If you want to prioritize your health, get an energy boost, and also boost your immune system, AG1 is where it's at. I gave AG1 a try because given my work schedule at Chat Sports combined with my training regimen, as I've currently run for more than 270 straight days, I wanted sustained energy, I wanted to stay healthy, and I wanted to keep my immune system strong so that I can strive toward giving you content every day here on the show and keep up with my personal fitness goals, as I've lost like 40 pounds since my Temple days. I take AG1 every morning as part of my routine. Really does set the table for the rest of my day. I've also prioritized my health after my mom passed away from cancer. That's why I love AG1, and it's 75. High quality vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients. I mix 1 small scoop of AG1 with water. I drink it either first thing each morning or before and after my workouts. I also love that something that's this good for you costs less than $3 a day. It's like a McDonald's hamburger, but even better for you. Way better for you. So if a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, then Athletic Greens is giving you the Bird Gang, a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs, which is what I was using on Super Bowl Radio Row. So head to athleticgreens.com/chatsports. That's athleticgreens.com/chatsports. Check it out. Link available in the comment section and in the description of this video. As for the other Eagles coaching news that we need to get to here, Johnathan Gannon being named the next head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. He had to stay in Arizona after that Super Bowl defeat. Interview with the Cardinals brass on Monday and Tuesday, and now he's going to replace Cliff Kingsbury as they go from an offensive mind to a defensive mind And what's interesting here is that according to Albert Breer, the Eagles wanted to keep Johnathan Gannon, and they made a push to have him on this coaching staff even in the aftermath of that brutal defeat to the Kansas City Chiefs. Ian Rappaport breaking the news just moments ago here on Tuesday afternoon that the Cardinals targeting Eagles defensive coordinator Johnathan Gannon as their new head coach. They'll aim to work out a deal to lock him in, but after several weeks of searching, they have officially found their guy. As for that report from Albert Breer, the Eagles have some pretty immediate work ahead with Shane Steichen off to Indy, Johnathan Gannon staying in Arizona, quarterbacks coach Brian Johnson an OC target for Baltimore, Washington, and Carolina, and passing game coordinator Kevin Patullo potentially another name to watch. In replacing Steichen, Nick Sirianni should have some answers. He could try and get Johnson to turn down other opportunities and stay as offensive coordinator or turn to Patullo. And the fact that Sirianni himself is an old offensive coordinator helps backstop the entire thing. Having to replace Gannon would be more difficult with the timing of his candidacy in Arizona an issue. Two guys who I think would have been high on the Eagles defensive coordinator list, this kind of hurts by the way, Vic Fangio, he's off to the Miami Dolphins, and Gerard Mayo have already agreed to deals elsewhere. I have heard for what it's worth that the Eagles have made an effort to keep Gannon in the fold with the Arizona interest having been rumored for a while. He's widely respected by the players in that Eagles defensive locker room, but we saw what happened on Sunday. It was brutal. The lack of adjustments egregious. Did you want Gannon to stay? Another opportunity to be honest down below. S for stay, L for leave. Share your thoughts. Why this loss stings to Kansas City. And Johnathan Gannon played a big role in that, and that's why I don't think the Eagles are really going to miss him. Eagles had more first downs, more third down conversions, more plays, more passing yards, more total yards, and they dominated time of possession. Unfortunately, though, Chiefs able to outscore Philadelphia 24-11 after that 30-minute break at halftime. And Patrick Mahomes after halftime was nearly unconscious. One incompletion in the final 30 minutes of that football game, and it came on a throwaway. This coming from my guy Hembo, Paul Hembekitis, ESPN, Greenbird's right-hand man. And you see what Mahomes did after halftime. Complete, 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 complete touchdown, incomplete on the throwaway, complete for another touchdown, complete, complete, complete. Johnathan Gannon, where art thou? He wasn't there to help this Eagles defense out. And Johnathan Gannon this year for Philadelphia, a case study of the fact that the numbers don't always tell the entire story. Because this Eagles defense, in terms of defensive rankings, was very good this year. But I will say this, in 2 years as defensive coordinator, they consistently struggled against some of the premier offenses in this league. And once again, that reared its ugly head in Glendale on Sunday. Points per game, they were fourth. Yards per game, number 1. Points per play, number 5. Yards per play, first. Third down conversion rate, 10th. Fourth down conversion rate, 19th. Red zone scoring percentage, 11th. Touchdowns per game, 10th. But the Chiefs, on a lot of those red zone trips, cooked the Eagles on third downs. And this is an Eagles defense that got burnt, cooked, and fried by the better offensive mind in Andy Reid than the defensive mind of Johnathan Gannon. And I'll tell you this, man. He's going to the NFC West now, where Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan are going to have an opportunity to run laps around Johnathan Gannon, and I don't think the Eagles are going to miss him all that much. I will never, and I mean, I will never get over this Super Bowl loss. I'm 31 years old right now. This is the most painful Philadelphia sports defeat I can ever remember. I mean, it's up there with Game 5 for the Phillies against the St. Louis Cardinals. It's up there of that Super Bowl loss against the New England Patriots. The 2009 NFC Championship game really hurt. So too did closing down Veterans Stadium against the Bucs. Only mustering 3 points against the Carolina Panthers was a disaster. And Johnathan Gannon is going to be remembered as the guy who failed to make adjustments and whose defense fell flat on its face in the second half of Super Bowl 57. Before we get to some Eagles free agency news, rumors, tidbits from the Eagles closing up that locker room today and meeting with the media for the final time, feel free to interact with me on Twitter and Instagram. After being at the Super Bowl all throughout the week, I had a couple of Eagles tweets really pop off. So don't miss any of our content or any of my tweets at Chase_Senior, Twitter and Instagram. Hit me up with the follow. Offseason roundup here. James Bradberry was honest. He said that he wants to get paid. The money has to be right. He's also going to look at some of his free agent destinations, and he wants to go to a team that can win. But he made, and picked no bones about it, that he does want to make money and does not want to play for cheap. 1-year, $10 million deal after being let go by the New York Giants this year. Wants to cash in, seemingly, for a long-term deal. And, of course, Jalen Hurts asked about that looming contract extension. He said, there will be a day in which we talk about that. That day is not today, as Hurts continues to come out with some great quotes and be so even-keeled. And then for C.J. Gardner-Johnson, rumors, buzz continues to really be hot that the Eagles and Howie Roseman want to prioritize bringing him back. But there are 31 other teams in the NFL who would really like C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who pretty much made a seamless switch from slot corner to safety, and in the process really improved his value. I thought he played great in the Super Bowl with a couple of big hits, displayed some speed, physicality, and we know all about that swagger. So yes, this loss to the Chiefs does hurt. But can the Eagles get back to this point next year? Let me know. What's your confidence level that the Birds can be in this spot to once again have an opportunity to bring that Lombardi trophy back? 1, not confident. 100, supremely confident. Bird Gang, comment below. As always, we appreciate you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.